I think we should give a round of applause to him. I didn't realise Gertrude was a farmer though, Kieran.
I think everyone from Varrock.
No, I'm taking the voice on demand.
I think everyone in Varrock's sort of like Western now from the accents.
Yeah, I think Varrock has turned into Texas.
But yeah, Kieran, thank you. You can go now. You did your job. Thanks, mate. Have a good weekend, guys.
He's now going to go have a couple of drinks. Get himself over that.
Or just forget what they did on the stream. So we've got a data stream for you. I think it looks fantastic. Probably the best looking one we've ever done. And followed by that will be mod Bruno, and Ash will be returning to the stream for some JMod hide and seek. Should we get straight into the data stream?
Well, I don't think many people actually know who the person on the end that I've seen before.
Very good point. So you were on last year's data stream, weren't you?
Yeah, I was on last year. I'm a mod nasty. I'm a product analyst for Old School.
What does a product analyst do?
I'm part of the analytics and data science department, and I manage the feeds for the game. I work alongside Mod Lottie, which some of you might know from Twitter. We basically answer any questions that various people from across the business have about Old School.
So some fun stuff, some business stuff, varies. Do you play much Old School?
I have done in the past. I'm just shy of 2K total. I think last year I said I was working on 2K. I'm still working on 2K. But yeah, I've been playing since 2005.
Yeah. Before we begin, just a big thank you to taking the time to give us all of the stats and data for the presentation.
Yep, and thanks to Creative Services for putting them on the slides.
Yeah, big thank you to Mod Parish. I hope you'll agree that the slides look great, and I think we can get stuck in then. So, okay, we're calling it Old School by the numbers. What do we got up first? So let's talk about the average active pay-to-play player. So this is using data taken from the past 28 days. It's not the past 20. It's not players over the past 28 days. It's just using data from the past 28 days.
Yep.
So the amount of play time. So the average player has 733. Yeah, you see the 73. I see you laughing, Justin. Rock, sorry.
I wasn't laughing. I was just it's like 733 hours for the average player over a month. It's still.
It's not over the last month. It's like a player profile.
Using profiles taken from the last month's play.
So that'll be a lot to play in 1 month.
Yeah, that's 700 hours.
I was going to say.
Like, hang on.
I think you might just squeeze it in.
Just barely.
It's me getting my HP.
And then the average player has that much XP. 25.7 mil. Total just shy of 1.4k. And a combat of 94. Any surprises there?
Level,
I think I kind of expected that whole higher combat but lower total. I'd have hoped the total level was a bit higher, but it's because I like skilling. But the total XP, I think, is kind of the odd one out for me. I felt like it'll probably be a bit higher.
You thought it would be higher?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a lot of hours. A lot of people are very inefficient. Come on,
that's a lot of players having fun.
A lot of bank standing.
Yeah. Bank standing's quite a lot.
We've just forgotten what fun looks like. Anyway, moving on. Hours played by all players. So this isn't using data from the last 28 days. This is all time since Old School was released in 2013.
Yeah, that is everyone.
Any guesses?
Oh, it's going to be.
I've seen the slide.
Yeah,
I've seen it.
more than one.
Up 10.
That many?
Definitely more than one.
It's a lot of hours.
What number is that?
2.5 billion.
So it's enough hours.
Bill.
I think it's
if nearly
104.
everyone in the world played RuneScape for about 20 minutes, we'd get to there. That's a lot.
Is that accurate?
No, it's about 7 billion people on the
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
about that. It's about 104 million days, I think, which is a lot.
Yeah, I can see someone saying it's almost a max cash stack, and as someone very familiar with max cash stacks, that is more.
We didn't mention that.
No. Did we? Or the twisted bow. Yeah.
No.
I think Mod Acorn said that's less than Link's Titans XP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it would be.
Yeah.
Because there's max XP.
Okay, so we've got a variety of stats for you. Let's look at house styles. This was a popular request on Twitter when we asked. Unsurprising, Twisted League is the most recent house style. Yeah.
probably cost the most as well.
Yeah. Any guesses for the most popular?
The default one.
How about second most popular? Definitely mentioned there, I see from Cree in the chat. That's a good guess.
Is Fancy Stone the most expensive one?
And then basic wood.
Fancy Stone. I'm not sure on the prices, to be honest.
I think it is, yeah.
So
I think
people either like-
Twisted's probably more expensive, but
Yeah.
But I meant of the general.
of the
styles,
ones you can get from the estate agent, yeah.
Quite surprising Deathly one.
Basic wood
That's a
gang.
lot of people who have done the...
they're saying that
Yeah.
Fancy is used for one of the diaries. That's why.
That's a good point. What house styles do you guys have?
Probably Fancy Stone.
Yeah, yeah. The white one, yeah.
I'm more of a basic wood man.
Yeah, me too.
If it's functional, it's fine. I live in a shed.
I think I've got basic stone now, but back in the day it was always Fremlick style for me. Don't know why, but
The floor
Edgy.
ruins it for me. I don't like the floor. It just looks very bland.
I do love the Twisted one. Who was it who worked on that? It was Mod West.
Yeah, Mod West made
Mod
it.
West. Great work on that. Cool. Grand Exchange. Let's more big numbers. So the amount of GP traded per day on the Grand Exchange. Any guesses?
I've seen it.
You've seen it, yeah.
You made the numbers.
I didn't make the numbers, I collected them.
Couple of trill.
These guys made
yeah,
the numbers.
I guess probably about 5 trill, maybe 5 to 10.
5 to
5.2 trill.
I guess. I saw a few people in the chat guessing 5 trill. Cool. Trades per day in the Grand Exchange only, not including player trades.
10 mil.
Oh, fewer.
Pretty low.
3.4 million trades for 5.2 trillion GP.
Yeah. Well, you can have, up to
Well, yeah.
2 billion items in a trade, right?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. The big number. I think the biggest number we've got in the deck. This is a great one. So this is since the Jewel Arena tax was released. Was that last year?
Yeah, last
I
year.
believe so.
Yeah.
So,
Along with the
2018, wasn't it?
Oh,
Year before last.
Yeah, late 2018 now you say, I think
Yeah.
so.
This
I'm going to say 25 trill.
25 trill.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Someone in the chat said the same thing, almost the same time you did. So let's go for 25 trill, your guess.
17.5 trill.
Just shy.
Which I think Bruno pointed out is like more money than there was in the game a
'cause I
couple of data
remember-
streams ago.
I remember watching one of Matt Case's data streams quite a few years ago, but the total amount of GP at the time was about 16 trill. And it's quite impressive that we've removed more GP in the game than there was from however many years old that game was when Matt did the stream. It's a lot of GP.
Hell of a gold sink. But just to show, I know we spoke on the Q&As before, and I'm not saying we're going to do it. I don't think there's any pressing urgency to do so. If we were to tax the GE, that would
Even if it was like a 0.5% or something like that. Do a hell of a lot.
But I think Kira mentioned on the Q&A a few weeks ago that it's been a while since he's kind of looked at GP coming in, coming out, but there didn't seem to be any pressing dire need for another gold sink.
I think it works out to about 31 bill a day removed at that
Okay.
rate.
So up next, Hardcore Iron Man, the amount of deaths in total. 180k. Yours is still surviving.
Mine's still alive, yeah.
Played it safe, as you were saying earlier.
Yeah, I'm doing this. I'm safer than Alkan, is how I describe my gameplay.
But yet Alkin probably died half that amount of times. They made that many accounts.
Shade.
Cool. Number of account bans. This is the old school account bans. So we kind of look at game bias, we look at RuneScape, and we look at old school. And again, this is since Feb 2013.
I did recently see a random data week pulled from a couple of years ago, and it was something like 180,000 bans for a week that they did.
I think they do them in sort of waves sometimes, so
So I want
that
to
was
kind
higher
of,
than others.
I kind of think it's easily going to be somewhere around like 5 to 10 mil.
Over just under 15 million. So a big thank you to the hard work of the anti-cheating team. And I know a lot of players are unhappy with the state of bots, but they do pick them up pretty quickly. And your reports are very valuable, so do keep reporting players that you suspect of botting, and they'll be investigated. Okay, clue scrolls. Got some cool stats here. So one question we were asked was to look at the next one, I think, valuation. So we have the mean and the median from each tier of clue.
I was going to say, does the data analyst want to explain what the mean and the median
Yeah,
is?
let's go for that. We'll back up a bit.
The mean is probably the average that most people are familiar with, where you take all of the values, add them up, and divide it by a total number. The reason I've included median as well is because the mean is sort of like heavily skewed by extreme values, so like your third age or your ranger boots, and some of the numbers looked a bit odd, but like the median is probably more like what you'd expect to get on an average clue. And then the mean is sort of like, if you were to do a lot of them, what it would average out at.
Only reason I ask is because I always forget.
Sure. Median's like the middle value. It's the 50th percentile.
Can you remember the mode?
I haven't been at school for 15 years. You think I'm going to remember that?
They say the mode is the most common.
Cool. Let's look at the mean for the beginner clue. 13k. What big drops do we have for the beginner clue that have retain value?
You've got the ornament kits for the scimitar and the shoulder parrot.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're the big ones.
Mole slippers.
Oh, mole slippers.
Don't know how much they are, but they're pretty cool.
Right, easy. And 52k. Worth doing?
For how short they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any like new players looking to get into make some early game GP, not necessarily really quickly, but an enjoyable way to do it. Killing goblins, which drop both beginners and easies.
I imagine a lot of that's from the Zamorak pages.
Yeah.
They probably go for over $1 million.
The pages are probably quite heavily skewing things up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we'll look at the median now. So remember, we've got beginner for 13k, easy with just over 50k. Straight into the median. What a huge drop. And again, so that's probably more like what you're used to seeing. You might occasionally, like you said, get lucky with a god page, but otherwise you're probably going to get a bit of armor, maybe some runes, some fish.
Have you had any good items yourself from beginner or easy clues? Have you done many of them?
Not an old school, no. My first ever clue scry, I do remember back in 2004, I got a gold trim black kite shield, which I sold for 80k. I was at level 20 combat or so, I'd just become a member. And it took me forever to complete and forever to sell, because obviously this is way pre-Grand Exchange.
I remember getting my first set of ranger boots, and at that time in the game they were only worth 600k back in like 2006, and D spears were also the same value. So I ended up trading my ranger boots for a dragon spear, which obviously now is completely pointless, but they were that's what they were like back then.
Big Asians did wonders for those.
Cool, now let's look at medium hards. So that's, again, probably propped up by the fact that you're getting ranger boots from a medium, which does mean that for the mean, come on, there we go. The mean GP value for a hard clue is actually lower than the medium clue, just because of the value from the ranger boots.
What expensive items are there in hard? Hard clues you can start to get third age,
Yeah.
but it's so ridiculously rare that
Yeah.
it doesn't really factor into it.
Something silly like 1 in 5k.
Yeah. So from this you can tell that if you open, I think it's eclectic implings, it's probably pretty decent money in the long run, just to do medium clues through eclectic implings.
What's the drop rate of medium clues?
1 in 25. So you won't be spending too much, but good loot.
But
Very
that's
nice
why
as well.
eclectics are quite expensive. I think
Yeah.
2k of them is something like, what, 2.5 mil? 3
Yeah.
mil?
So last time I
Okay.
checked, they were about 2 or 3k each.
That's-
So you'll spend maybe like 50k in buying the imps, but you'll still make a good like 100k profit.
In the long run, yeah.
Yeah.
So let's remember we've got 165k for medium, 162 for hard. Let's see what happens.
Elite's going to be less.
Well, that's up next, but for medium and hard. So from 165, I think it was, down to 14k, and for hard, 162 down to 89. So in the long run, assuming you're probably not going to get lucky with ranger boots, and some people do, which we'll get to very shortly, you're probably better off doing hard clues than your medium.
And don't take Bruno's advice unless you've got the money to spend, because
Well,
you will make a loss in the short term unless you get lucky.
Right, mean elite. I think that's a lot higher than most people are saying in the chat. But obviously, again, you're having to be very lucky you're getting one of the big drops. Master, any guesses?
Few 100k, probably like 500.
Higher.
Quite a
So
lot.
that makes it look like it's well worth doing.
Oh, and you got things like the third age longsword, the third age pick, and
Yeah.
the hatchet as well.
Someone said druidic in the chat as well.
Well, yeah, that kind of stuff is what 600 mil plus.
It's in a few hundred, yeah.
So we've got 300, just over 300k and then 800k. What's the medium?
This is going to be in the floor.
Not quite. Higher than most people are saying
What?
in the chat.
I always see like elites as pretty much like the worst one to do. That elites are all.
It's just because of the number of steps involved, then you don't feel like it's worth it.
You get dragon items as well from Elite, right? They'll add up.
So we're saying fake news in the chat. Master?
Yeah, it looks about right.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
Masters, like,
Mm-hmm.
I usually get a few 100k.
So a question we were asked, has anybody, because it is technically possible, I believe, ever got 3 ranger boots in one casket? What do you think?
I've seen a few twos. I didn't. Someone got one recently. I can't remember. I saw it on. Was it Dave? I can't remember. There was an Iron Man that got a double Ranger Clue recently.
So a lot of people saying at least
Mutts.
one.
Mutts did it. There you go. I knew someone had.
Let's also take a second to appreciate the wiggling boots. Thanks, Mod Parish. All right, so what we're saying, lock in your guess.
I think
yes or
someone
no.
has to have.
You think someone has to have? No! Didn't.
We couldn't find it at least. If Mutts did get it, I can check it.
No, Mutt's got a double.
A double, okay, sure.
Which is next. So, how many players have got double ranger boots? We've seen it. This one has happened. Any guesses?
Seen it quite a lot, so I'd say like
1,000?
200.
Okay,
If
quite
that was
high.
Too much.
140.
There's a zinger on this one.
But one person got them twice. So one person has had double ranger boots twice. Imagine being that lucky.
I double and triple checked that because I didn't believe it.
So it's technically happened 141 times.
Yeah, 141 occurrences, yeah.
A lot.
Did you do any checks around those to say whether like different set, like someone had 3 boot rolls, like they got essentially manacles, wizards, and
No, I didn't check, like, yeah, there's too many items on the drop table to look for.
Let's collate a massive list for next time.
of
you'd have
everything.
to start now.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, we did something like that for one of the later things, and I hassled Modlenny here for about half an hour for variables.
Highest Nurse said, did anyone ever get free boots? He missed it. Unfortunately, not. So you could keep doing your mediums because you could be the first ever person to get free ranger boots.
I spoke to someone, I can't remember who it was now, but apparently it is possible to get up to 5.
Yeah, because there's technically 5 rolls.
So there's nothing stopping it. It was you. It was Mod tied.
I got 2,000 eclectics in the bank. I'm going to get triple ranger boots this weekend.
Ooh, bit of sporadic. There we go. Okay, pets. This is a always well requested feature here. So I think we're looking at the highest and lowest. So we've got some overall numbers as well. And later on, towards the end of the stream, we're talking about Twisted League pets. Top 10. What do you think the most common is?
Heron.
Heron.
Kraken. And probably beaver.
Okay, so beaver.
Skatizo, I think, will probably be fairly high up there.
Yeah.
It's got a high drop chance.
Okay.
Come on, bud. Any surprises as we're going along? You said Skatizo.
I thought Zora might have been higher. The amount of people that kill it so regularly as they do.
Kraken you called.
Beaver.
Surprised that agility's higher than...
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I suppose that's because a lot of people feel like they need to do agility to get the graceful set, so you get quite a few people that will
Get
have
early.
like level 50 to 60 agility pets.
I think the Phoenix is quite low drop rate as well, isn't it? It's like more than 99.
5,000, I think.
Like more than 99 fire making in...
Yeah, it's
Gotcha.
1 in 5k, but you get 2 rolls. So 2,500, that's about 50 mil XP.
Yeah.
I was at Wintertodd last night. I saw so many drops of Phoenixes.
And
There's a
none
lot
of
of
them
people
are
doing
yours.
None of them are mine, of course not.
I actually didn't see a whole lot doing 200 mil fire making in Twisted League. I saw maybe like 3 pets.
The drop rates were the same, weren't they? So,
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think I've got 54 mil XP and I got one about halfway through.
sure.
Right. Fewest pets. Any guesses?
Uh,
I'll say Nightmare because that's the most recent.
Yeah, Nightmare's got to be up there.
Omelette, BA pet.
Penance Queen,
Little Nightmare.
Inferno.
Surely the Nibbler's got to be up there.
There's more nightmares than there is Kriaras.
There's a lot.
Already?
Of doing
Yeah.
I suppose, yeah.
Penance Queen, you said?
Also, everyone gets a roll, I think.
So
That's
that surprised me.
no, that does surprises me. That's gonna be. Where's? Oh no, Zolcano is probably not on this list.
Nah, too many people do Zarkano.
The Young Left nobody said, but yeah, we reckoned the Nibbler would be the fewest, the rarest one. And
Sriracha's a bit.
Sriracha's the surprising one on there.
yeah, I thought so too. We haven't.
It's a nice looking pet considering.
It's like a cheap.
I think-
of Venonais.
I think a lot of it is because of the 30-second kill count, and the only real
I
proper
think so
way to
too.
do it is using 2 worlds and hopping between.
Let's also consider as well that it's pretty recent. I mean, I know the Nightmare's on,
Yeah.
but it's a pretty recent addition to the game.
Whereas I think one of the higher level PVMers went 15k dry on Sriracha to get it. I think crazy.
There's just a list. I know a lot of players would be eager to see, so we'll keep this up for a while. We weren't able to get dry streaks. Apologies. We've done that previously. Perhaps next time we can look to do that. I think what I'll do as well is share the deck with the players. I'll attach it to probably the VOD and on social media as well, so you can go through it and peruse.
So, which of those pets would you say is your favourite?
Favorite looking? Honestly, Baby Mole. I love it. So cute. I would love a Baby Mole plushie.
Well, send a DM to Plushy Tum.
Get it
True,
done.
yeah. How about you guys? What's your favourite looking?
I like the recoloured phoenixes.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I think for me it has to be the omelette with the dust in it and have like your own little mini tecton.
We've got no dust. Should we?
Mini Mew style. It's quite cool.
I think we might need to get the data for the dust and post that out.
Yeah, we'll share that.
Dust is doable.
Other than that, I think I quite like the humanoid ones like Zilliana. It's quite a nice pet, despite it looking a little bit janky. I think I'll still think it's a nice pet.
I think Jed's probably my favourite. Jed's pretty cool.
Yeah, I suppose Jed is essentially old school, isn't it? Really.
It looks a bit scuffed, just being like a little red blob, but it's pretty cool looking.
I think weird one for me is the dark core. The little dark core just looks.
I like how it like
blob.
shoots and floats around
Yeah.
when you move.
Oh, when you've got something like the Bandos pet that still has sounds attached to it. So if you're walking through the GE with your Bandos pet, I'd advise you doing so. Everyone who's got their sounds on will hear it.
So the players are telling us we're missing 4 pets here. That might be that I missed them from the request. If so, apologies.
I think they got trimmed off making the slides.
Okay.
Oh, because they were on the slides.
There's a couple that are missing that I think you can find in the bottom 10. It was just like, I don't know why.
I imagine maybe my parish is wanting the site to look pretty. What I'll do is after this, and before we put these slides on social media and attach to the YouTube VOD, I will jankily edit in the other pets.
Yeah,
them on the end.
missing Sriracha.
Cool, let's talk bosses. Have a little close up. Most killed bosses. So this is all time, big numbers here.
I want to say Zora's pretty much at the top.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It always is.
Forecap has to be up there as well.
How high? There it is. The second place surprised me. I think, yeah, there we go. There's a lot of people in chat saying it now. Kraken
Yeah.
and Zora. Let's keep in mind as well that Zora, 2015 added? Kraken as well, 2014, 2015. And some of the other stuff does.
What do you think?
do well.
Kraken was added the same time as Thermi, wasn't it? Did they come together? Or were they separate?
Maybe it's the expansion. I don't remember. Don't play that.
No, I can't remember either. But
But yeah, Kraken's really easy. That's not too surprising. I'd expect a lot of people to do
and
it.
Dagonoth Rex being the highest of the
Yeah, just bizarre.
Dag Kings purely for the rings and
Yeah.
the safe spot.
Cool. Fewest boss kills.
Briar Fighter.
So the Nightmare's working their way up quite quickly.
And I think that's because it's got, well, you can obviously 5 people can kill it once. And it does it on the stats? Did it count as 5 or did it count as 1?
That would count as 5.
Oh, okay.
We do have the actual number, I believe, being tracked in game as the kills happen. So
Yeah.
we could perhaps put that out a lot.
Someone can double check it then.
No, I can understand how you got
Yeah.
how we got that number, but I think we also have the individual kill
Yeah,
count for
sure.
Nightmare too.
You can see the average group size from that if you want.
Even more data.
So you can see the discrepancy there between Gauntlet and Gauntlet hard mode. Mimic. And Zuck.
No.
Any surprises?
Where's Theory of Blood? Does Theory of Blood have more than 2 million completions?
I think Theory of Blood doesn't have the same kind of tracking variable.
Maybe then.
Is that because it doesn't track it only tracks completions, not each individual
Yeah.
boss? Whereas had, because it's the only boss there.
So we released Nightmare recently. Got some initial stats here. Oh, I thought there were more. My bad. Cool. So we've had just shy of 2 million kills and 250k deaths attributed to the Nightmare. I remember on day one, the kind of kill-death ratio was completely reversed here. Yeah. But now I think as people are getting more and more comfortable, starting to mass it more comfortably, far more kills coming in than there are deaths.
Makes sense.
Best kill times. So we've got a few bosses.
2 minutes, isn't it? For Nightmare?
Yep.
These might be rounded slightly differently to what you see in game because I've done it off of server cycles. So it's in ticks, rounded.
I think this is something like 40 seconds, I want to say. Oh, blooming heck.
Quick.
I think the record smashed ages ago.
Vorkath, but that's going to be about 45.
Quick.
Respectable. A 9:48.
That is a unofficial one. I couldn't confirm it, but that's from a speedrunner Discord, and they seem pretty consistent with the other ones.
So is
That would have been in something like a 6-man, I think, isn't it? Is 6-man the meta these days?
5 or 6,
Yeah, for speedrun it's slightly bigger teams rather than like 4 or 5 man. But
Where you go up to the point where you don't get an extra phase.
Chat saying 9 man.
There's people saying it was recorded, it's legit, and other people are saying no way.
8 minutes for a Theatre of Blood.
When we were, I don't know if you remember, when we were releasing Theatre of Blood, I think we had like a time in mind. Can you remember what it was? How long we thought it should
I think
take
we were going
for the average?
20 to 25 minutes.
Okay.
For an average, yeah.
Okay, so we've got a few quest completions and Slayer skips here. Slayer skips was well requested. Basically, you want to see what the least popular amongst the killers. Quest completions, we're only really looking at quests that came out last year. So Song of the Elves, From the Exiles. The 105k completion of Song of the Elves, I think well respectable considering the requirements for the quest.
I think that's quite low.
Oh yeah?
I'd have thought there would have been more. I don't know why. I think that's maybe because I tend to play in the higher
Quite
total
high
worlds,
requirements. A lot of 70s.
But I think that's a
Long question.
fairly sizable chunk of the people that have completed Morning's End Part 2, let alone the rest of the
Well, I
requirements.
suppose a lot of people probably get up to Regicide and then sack off the rest of the storyline.
Yeah.
Because I can't remember the numbers exactly, but I remember that before the release of Song of the Elves, Mod Ed and I were looking at how many people were even close to eligible for it. Basically, have they completed Morning's End Part 2? And I think it was somewhere over double that, but not hugely different.
Interesting.
Next up, From the Exiles. So released towards the latter end of last year. And so I think to reflect the lower requirements, a higher completion rate. How long was there between the two quests coming out? 4 months, I think it was.
3 or
So you're
4
looking at
months,
July
yeah.
to September or October? Yeah. And then Slayer tasks. So first of all, we've got percentage skipped, and then I think we've got total number skipped. A little trend here. So a lot of people saying dragons in the chat. That will come with, I think, when you get to the total volume, but for percentage, not quite just yet.
I think a lot of people put them on block and just don't get them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spiritual God Wars makes sense.
These are kind of maybe the ones which...
Water Fiends also makes sense, because like, if you get them, you almost always skip Water Fiends, because they don't really drop anything and they're really rare.
I think there's like one Iron Man item that you need off of the table, and even then you don't necessarily go there on task to kill him.
As soon as the transition slide came up saying Slayer skips, someone in the chat said Water Fiends.
Handsome John says he likes Water Fiends.
I might be the only person.
Okay, yeah, total volume of skips here rather than percentage.
So obviously
Dragons.
a lot of the higher weighted tasks.
Yeah, this is what people were probably expecting more of.
Still dragons. And black demons.
Yeah, I'd support that. Yeah. I'm surprised by Tazars. There's a lot of people skipping Tazars.
Do I wonder if that would take into account the people that go in, take the take the task, walk into the Jad and walk out again? Because technically that counts as a failed task rather than skipped, does it? Or is that a skip?
I think that's a cancel of some sort in our tracking.
So I play for fun, so I do my black demon task at Gorillas and try and make some money.
Yeah, it's probably the best place to do them, but when you're going up there, dropping your pro pots or safe spotting them with a cannon isn't really seen as fun.
True, very true.
But again, this is task weight, so a lot of them are up there because they're common rather than because people really don't want to do them like Water Fiends.
Cool. This is a cool one. So first of all, we're going to look at how many people have a music cape, achievement diary cape, quest point cape, and then how many have all three, actually. So quite similar numbers there with music and achievement diary.
Blocked off.
We're missing the last digit of quest point, but there is one. It's 61.7 something.
766.
766.
I don't know how I feel about that one. I think maybe I expect music cape, the only thing it's really used for is master clears, isn't it?
Yeah.
To get the bard.
I think it's more or less what I would have expected. Quest capes are quite useful, especially for Iron Man.
I don't even think I have my quest cape because I didn't do X marks the spot when it was released.
Got to get it back then.
Easy one to do.
Well, yeah.
It'll take no time at all. Okay, how many people have all three? So 4.5k. Quite an elite club.
No,
How many max players do we have in game now?
just about to hit 7?
More than that,
8K?
yeah. There's more max people than there are people with
All three capes,
trim diary capes.
Loads Combat Infernal.
It's ridiculous.
Okay, total 99s per skill. So this is as of the 1st of January, so there might be more by now.
I'm going to say fire making is going to be the top one.
Okay, that's what I thought too.
Strength. Oh, strength is always up there. Because so many people just get 99 strength.
So you're going strength.
I think cooking might still be up there.
Cooking's always like the first easy one.
Oh, okay, fire making. It's less than some of the combats.
So this one was a lot higher than I expected it to be with ranged.
Yeah.
Hit points.
Ranges are met everywhere though,
Yeah.
so it's not too surprising.
And then you can't see behind the box, but it is strength.
Well, clearly 17k people think rune crafting is good.
Or it's a means to an end. Or it's good. We'll go for that one.
Well, if
Positivity
Playing
in the
for
game.
fun.
Yeah, exactly.
we've got 7 or 8k max players, then
Yeah. 8k max, but only double more back.
So the number of 200 mils per skill. I think the most common is going to be
Fletching.
200 mils, I wouldn't be surprised if it was fire making. I'd put fire making a lot higher up.
Cooking's probably up there as well because it's so easy and
And there's fletching.
cooking's really either cheap or profitable, so
thieving. Didn't hear that one yet.
yeah.
cooking. Cooking by far.
Thieving's a bit surprising, but then again we do have things like knights, so
Well, there's still one spot left on the rune crafting high scores page to stay front page.
True.
any takers?
I was gonna say.
Anyone?
Cool. So following leagues, we had some. We only provided some Twisted League stats, but we were asked for more. So we're bringing more. Any surprises there in terms of total level? I mean, you gear your account progress according to the task, wouldn't you, rather than necessarily just...
I'd say a lot of the combat ones are pretty easy to get
Yeah.
for task-wise, but
Yeah, I remember it took me like 2 days to get base 80, so it's really fast.
Higher than you thought it would be, slow tasks?
Yeah.
Lots of farming contracts.
Quite a lot of slay tasks.
And then twisted bows in the game.
That's a really cool little infographic there with the bows.
So I think we provided some stats on relic selection, but we've got here now tier 1, 2 tier 5. I think what this gives an opportunity is to look at how balanced we did the relics and perhaps to advise us for future leagues. So yeah, any walkers? No. Well, some, but most of all, Endless Endurance was the most selected one. I think tier 2 looks a bit more balanced in that you've got a kind of really viable choice of unnatural selection, but then a bit more of an even split between Harvester and Arcane Courier. Again, a clear front runner for tier 3 with Eye of the Artisan and then Gatherer and Warrior, both kind of vying a second place. Tier 4, Treasure Seeker, clear favourite. Any surprises there? Or did you perhaps choose any differently? No?
I'm not too
didn't play the
surprised.
league on.
And then here we are. I think tier 5, perhaps when we look at the final tier of relics in future leagues, we might need to pay a bit closer attention to how we balance it.
So was that the one where you could attack a tick faster?
That was
Zerk's Focus.
Zerk's,
Was the one tick faster one. Zerk's Wisdom
was double XP, yeah.
Ah,
And then
someone
Zerk's
said-
Resilience was the one which was... I think it was Stronger Defense,
half damage.
half damage, something like that.
Something like that. I think
And Prayer Restored.
Resilience gang. Somebody said 2% misclicked.
Misclicked twice.
I was looking at the breakdown of these like per trophy tier that they got, and I think only 1 or 2 people got Dragon with Zerik's Resilience. Which, I mean, looking at that pie chart doesn't
Stuck
seem
with
too
their bad
surprising. Yeah, they stuck with it. They committed.
Probably would have been quicker to go start a new one, get 5,000 points and pick a different one.
So if that was you, respect.
So number of clue scroll completions in Twisted League. Some massive numbers here.
Well, that's about right, because hards were actually really easy to do, because pretty much all the steps in hards were just dig steps.
Yeah.
So you just dig and kill a wizard, and that's pretty much the clues.
So that's quite a sizable amount of work, wasn't there, to make clue scrolls just work on Zaya
Didn't
for
we
the league?
Yeah.
add some new clues with it?
I don't think we did,
Oh,
because
really?
we actually had quite a few clues in Zaya by itself, so I don't think I had to add any. But at first we did think about not stopping players from getting non-Zaya clues, but we decided that
If
wasn't.
players could get non-Zeta clues, then
Yeah, we
easy
decided that
through
wasn't a
the
great
floor.
idea, so we only let them get Zaya clues.
The amount of like items you need to complete those clues is like nothing compared to what you'd need if you want to do them normally.
So the number of pets obtained during Twisted League. Only 20 omelets made it to the game.
I was quite surprised by the baby chinchomper because I was thinking, where can you even hunt them?
Just north of Land's End, there's a small hunter spot with grey chins.
Grey chins.
I think the number of bloodhounds was surprising.
Not the number of master clues. Or not master clues. Was it master clues?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's master clues, yeah. Doubted myself for a second there.
I'm surprised there's less omelets than there are twisted bows.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
23 bows,
fewer.
20 pets. Do we know how many dust?
None, I believe. I think there was 1 task completion, and when I looked into it, it was
Yeah.
it was mod curse.
Really?
Oh, wow.
And that brings us to the end of the data stream. Thank you very much, Mod Nasty and Mod Parish, for putting together quite a really good looking stream. Up next, we have got Mod Ash and Mod Bruno will be joining him for some JMod hide and seek. What do you think of your stream so far?
I think we could have talked about the history of Old School for about another 10 hours.
So we're
And we'd
talking
be
about
happy to do so.
talking about how viable a podcast would be, and I think talking about maybe like dedicating a whole podcast to 2013 or 2014 or 2015.
Yeah. So I think me and Sween have toyed with the ideas of trying to get a podcast to go, something that's maybe a little bit less formal, is more just about chats rather than necessarily answering questions, like talking about us in general, what's going on here. Maybe occasionally you get like project updates through it or something like that, but it's a case of whether people will want that and they prefer the interaction where we can answer their questions directly, or whether they want another medium to kind of like get information from. I know we were toying with the idea about what happened if we had to do a podcast one week and then the next week we do the live stream, and then the following week I kind of like alternate, so it didn't feel like there was in case there was any feel of like burning out for constant live streams and answering questions and stuff like that. So if that is something people want, then I guess me and Sween might have to sit down at some point and go, okay, how are we going to do this?
I mean, every single person could happily sit and listen to Ash's experience for Old School through the ages.
They really don't want that.
You're probably more likely to get some people that you don't see on the live streams as much to talk about stuff, because there's no... Obviously when Modbaz was here, she didn't want to be in front of the camera, but was happy to be a voice. I'm sure there's a few others like that, other people across the business that they might not hear from. I wouldn't be surprised if we probably convince Mod Pips to come on one of them. Something like that.
I think so. I think one thing we would like to do during 2020 is increase the output we do, just on live streaming, video content, and if indeed we do go the podcast route as well. How are we looking for setup for the hide and seek stuff, John? Thumbs up there. But Bruno, would you like to go and join? Perhaps we'll get a transitional slide up to make